So this is probably one of my favorite stories to tell about going hunting with my dad and my brother. It was the three of us. And I remember he took us out to a field, and I was maybe about 10 years old, and my brother was 7, and my brother and my dad loved to go hunting. I didn't like it so much, but I had no choice. My mom was going to a church conference, and so I just went with my dad and my brother. And so we would pack up the pickup truck, with our supplies and our food and everything else that we needed. And we went down like this really bumpy road. It was really crazy. And I kept thinking that we were going to miss where we were going to arrive. But my dad and my brother kind of already had a pretty good idea of where we were going to go. So we found a good place, and we parked the truck. And I was just kind of walking behind them, and they tended to take the lead a little bit, and there were so many trees and bushes to kind of get through. It was really hard to keep up, and I don't know why they didn't mow it before, but anyway, so my brother and my dad were just sitting down, kind of crouched down, very quiet, and they told me to be quiet. And to me, I keep thinking that these birds are really cute, and sweet, and no need to harm them, but they thought they heard something, so I just sat there quiet, and they tried to, and they shot one, and it came down, and I was so sad to see it fall, and it was so distraughting. So I went to go pick it up and by its tail, and I just looked at it, and it was so sad to know that it died, and its head just hung down, and I cried, wept in tears. But my dad told me to be quiet, so I stood there, and I yelled as loud as I could, and you can see all the birds just flocking out of there. And my dad told me, be quiet, shh. So I sat there, and I did it again. I yelled as loud as I could, and same thing happened. So my dad came over and got me, and he took me back to the truck, and he made me stay there, to sit and be quiet. And I started crying again, and so he went back to my brother and stayed there. And so I had this mischievous idea to honk the horn a few couple of times, over and over again, just honk it as many times as I could. And you could see the trees and the bushes moving, and my dad marching towards me. Like, you can see his face was red. He was furious, and he came over to the driver's side, and he gave me a good spanking for it. And I cried again. I mean, it was terrible. So we went back home that night, and my mom arrived home and was like, "What were you doing home so early?" It's like, "How many birds did you catch?" And he held up the one, and he goes, because it was my fault. But they were really sweet, and I didn't want them to die. So